Seashore Presley Stadium here in Gainesville, Florida, as they get set for the biggest home series here.
A lot of screw and rise.
And it's one of the best batting orders in the country, anchored in that 4th spot by catcher Reese Atwood, an All-American a year ago. One of the finalists for National Player of the Year honors. Wouldn't be any surprise if she is on that short list again this season, as she inches closer and could possibly take over the school record for career RBI here this weekend from Mike White, now in his 7th season. And his tenure here at Texas, along with tremendous success at Oregon, 7 times to the Women's College World Series. For both these teams, they were there in Oklahoma City a year ago, actually met on day 2. And it was a Texas run rule shutout win over the Gators. So a little bit of vengeance on Florida's mind in the opener. And that's going to head out in the direction of Corby Otis, who makes a nice sliding grab. One down, out left.
This is a great read, first of all, by Corby Otis, because this ball's just dying down. But watch her get underneath with the slide. A lot of times you'll see a player die, but this is the right move, right calls here. Get underneath that ball to be able to make the grab. A very tough catch for the first out for the Gators.
That'll bring up Caden Henry, the center fielder, sophomore out of Dickinson, Texas. Just coming back into the starting lineup, injured a couple of weeks ago. And he takes a look at a strike from Oxley. 484 on the season. The number's pretty gaudy for Texas. Popped up in foul territory. They've had a handful of challenges in their non-conference, and now here today making their SEC debut. And what a gauntlet it is. It's possible that 7 of your 8 series in the league will be against ranked opponents.
There's not a weekend off, or a game, or a pitch.
Yeah, and in fact, moving forward, Florida has the toughest remaining schedule in the country, Texas the 3rd toughest. These are 2 of the big favorites, along with Oklahoma, to win the SEC this year. Tim Walton, his club, won the SEC tournament a year ago for the 6th time, so he's got the most SEC Coach of the Year honors. They've won the title more than any other program. After Tennessee, you're back-to-back champions in the regular season the last 2 years. Mike White, they're coming off the Big 12 championship a year ago. Finally broke through and beat Oklahoma during the regular season, but then the Sooners got them in the championship series for the national title a year ago.
Great at bat right now from Caden Henry. Seen a little bit of everything from Oxley, and Henry really developing all parts of her game too. We've seen the bunt, the slap, and the hitting away. 9th pitch coming.
She has reached base safely in 21 of the 23 games they've played. And now a 10-pitch at bat. Nice catch in the crowd. Beautiful day. Going to be a little bit on the hot side. First game of the doubleheader. Pulled foul down the right field line.
Really good adjustments.
Her last pitch, a changeup now coming in on the hand. She's hit balls down the left field line, right field line. A tough out.
For Oxley, her 6th start of the season out of Bartow, Florida. And off the glove of Holtorf at short. And it ricochets out into left field, and a base runner here with 1 out for the Longhorns.
Biggest thing Caden Henry was telling herself to stay through the ball, and this one does a nice job. Pitch up in the zone, and with 2 strikes, you can tell she's just short in her swing. This is a 3/4 swing. Got to get an indication of the pop off the bat of Henry.
Scored a single for Caden. Here's the number 3 batter, Mia Scott. senior was a second-team All-American last year. Just constant improvement. The batting average, the power numbers, the run production has gone up in each of her 4 seasons in the starting lineup at Texas. And she comes in today riding a 14-game hitting streak. Buying some time way back in the box. She's on the chalk with that left foot.
She has such a great eye. Only 2 strikeouts on the year. That 500 batting average. Gap-to-gap hitter. Leads this team with doubles, 9.
There's a rope, and that'll drop in front of Shoemaker out and right. And back-to-back base knocks for Texas.
Mia Scott just gets all into this pitch. You can see the way that she's on time, front foot down. Pitch on the outer half, but she barrels it around, gets around that, just really efficient swing. Tight, compact, and this ball just explodes off the bat. Good job by Henry to make sure that ball gets down before advancing to second.
Such a dangerous offense and so deep. It's a Texas offense that's top 10 in the country in batting average, slug, home runs, runs scored. They're averaging close to 10 runs per game through this 15-game winning streak. And now, the most fearsome of them all. Here's Reese Atwood. Smoking in her last 5 games. She's 10 for 15 with 3 home runs.
Nice pitch by Oxley. Start her off with a changeup. Get her off balance.
Clips the corner, 0-2. Chops that one foul. Onto the roof of the pavilion. In the Stacy Nelson Plaza.
Now last pitch, Atwood getting in the box, making sure that she's got time. Oxley likes to work very fast. When she's on the rubber, she'll be bringing it right at you. Got to make sure you're set.
One-two pitch. 2-2 as Erickson tries to frame it behind the dish. Jocelyn, last year's SEC Player of the Year.
After working a curveball away, not getting the call, they decide to come back underneath with a screwball, and that just rides right into the back arm of Atwood.
Big opportunity early for Texas in their SEC debut. Jolie Mitchell has a hit in 11 of her last 12 games for the transfer from Notre Dame. Infield is pulled in for Florida, and they get the infield pop-up, and Erickson has it behind the plate, 2 down.
Huge out for Florida. There's so many options, and the respect that Jolie Mitchell had to. Outfield was deep. She can get that anywhere. Just kind of threw her hands at the ball and ended up getting an easy out for the Gators to make it 2 outs.
Here's Katie Stewart, the left fielder. 380 with 8 home runs on the year, out in front of the off-speed.
Changeup was effective last week against Texas A&M as well.
She's been riding the struggle bus her last 3 games, 0 for 9 with 6 strikeouts, trying to get her mojo back. Two and two. Top 1, bases loaded. Doesn't chase. Full count.
How about Caitlin Oxley? Bases loaded jam going up against one of the power hitters for Texas, and she's going to come back with that changeup, using it multiple times in this at-bat. Just great.
They come with Tegan Cavan, who has experience in the World Series a year ago, a 20-game winner as a freshman, and now one of the top aces in the country. A missed opportunity to score with the bases loaded in the top half of the inning. Gators work out of the jam, and now they will send Kendra Falby to the plate to try and get things going. Slaps that one into foul territory. The starting lineup for the Gators, ranked number 3 in the country, and it starts with Kendra right at the top. She has reached base in every game this year.
Only 2 of those games that she didn't have a hit.
15-game hitting streak coming into this one. In their midweek win over UCF, she hit her 2nd career home run, a legit triple threat at the plate. She can short game you, and when she gets on, look out, one of the top base stealers in America. I think we're all anxious to see how these 2 potent lineups match up with the quality of pitching we're going to see in this series this weekend.
Well, and each of these clubs have great pitching staffs. They've got multiple arms to be able to go to in the pen.
Here's the 1-2. For the 3rd weekend in a row, the Gators have their ace, Keegan Rothrock, listed as day-to-day. Possible we could see her, but doubtful, I think, at this point. Talking to Tim Walton, coming back from an undisclosed injury. She's been rehabbing. She's been getting back to work. And they feel like it's just a matter of time. And the Gators pitching staff has done a nice job picking up the slack without her. And a strikeout for Cavan to get things going. 2 of her last 3 starts, she's had double-digit Ks. And here comes Taylor Shoemaker. Has burst onto the scene. The freshman out of Fullerton, California. And already whispers of her rewriting the freshman record books here at Florida with the gaudy numbers she's putting up.
The gaudy number she's putting up. In fact, some of those freshman record books she's probably going to break in the next few weeks. It's not even just over the course of the season. Beautiful lefty swing. Just watch her front foot, too. And she's one of those hitters that came in, coached very well, has a great understanding of her body. And facing Tegan Cavan, she's going to keep that front foot kind of open. And instead of getting it closed, she'll keep it open to be able to get her hands to that inside pitch.
Shoemaker out to center field. Caden Henry under it. 2 down. How about a scouting report on Tegan Cavan, the sophomore out of West Des Moines, Iowa?
Cavan is one of the best young pitchers in the game. A lot of experience at the World Series last year. She's got that rise ball changeup combination. Look at the rise ball, the way she's going to get underneath it. She's going to get that backward rotation, gets it up in the eyes. And then how about the changeup? Same tunnel. Comes out, she's going to flip it over for that flip change. Just a lot of tools in her toolbox with good velocity. So rise change combos is really important, but she'll also throw a screwball, a drop ball.
Here's Corby Otis. Yeah, her chase rate on the rise is close to 40%. With the change, it's close to 50%.
Yeah, and that's Beth because she does throw that rise at multiple levels, the changeup in any count, and it's that high velocity, upper 60s to 70 miles an hour. Not a lot of decision time.
Otis fouls it off. The senior from Littleton, Colorado, who started her career at Louisville. Tim Walton has been a master of the transfer portal in the last 5 or 6 years, adding the likes of Otis and Erickson to the lineup last year. This year, Holtorf, Cahalan. Transfers from Washington and Alabama. Two pitch. Right back up the middle on a base hit.
Tim Walton talked about Corby Otis. She's been struggling the last couple weeks, but he said the last game against UCF, hard contact, starting to get that front foot down. And this one, high velocity pitcher. All you got to do is get to contact right back up the middle. First hit for the Gators.
But now you got to be really careful with the reigning SEC Player of the Year, Jocelyn Erickson. Has homered in 3 straight games, all of which have opened up the scoring for Florida. Out of Phoenix, Arizona, and the National Player of the Year winner last season. Conversation early for Patty Ruth Taylor, our pitching coach.
I'm sure they're talking a little bit about Erickson's power, making sure that talking about where her strengths are, where her weaknesses are. Her pitch count already 17 pitches in this first inning.
Another thing about this Florida offense is we've talked about the power, the speed, but it's how great they are with understanding the strike zone, how patient they are. They will take their walks. So that's part of it too. She's not going to chase.
Kavan misses away, 3-0. Hit .382 last year, 15 home runs, 86 RBI. Taking on 3-0. And she's building towards similar numbers this season. Already halfway through the year now as we jump into conference play. First SEC series for Texas. For Florida, they have a big road series win at Texas A&M last weekend. Took 2 of 3 from the Aggies. Off the end of her bat and right back to Kavan. And both coaches talking to them this week realize this is a massive undertaking to square off number 2 versus number 3 here in mid-March.
Well, it's ironic too for Texas, you know, as you mentioned, Jess, to their best start ever, tied with I think it was their 06 team. But if a win today would be their best start ever. So if you're going to have your best start ever, you got to do it against a top 5 team, a legit win for that to happen.
Line out to short, 1 down. That 2016, by the way, was led, of course, by the great Cat Ostrom.
On all these offensive numbers, because we talked about on the Florida side too, kind of circle them right now because as they get, let's look in a month from now as they get into the SEC season, they're going to come back to reality.
Yeah, the SEC arms will show up.
Well, certainly the hope is Rothrock returns healthy and you see her the rest of the season. It is a good look early on for Tim Walton to see what the rest of his pitching staff is made of. And so far the results have been good. Probably an Oxley-Kara Hammock combo. Ava Brown is rock solid as a starter. You can bring Olivia Miller.
Bit of a miscalculation coming back inside. It's that rise ball, screwball that she throws up on that inside part of the plate to those righties trying to get inside on them.
She's not afraid. That's the thing. She's not afraid to get in there, but you are going to miss.
There's Katie Bennett.
And I like seeing it from the freshmen. I mean, honestly, Caitlin Oxley, she's already pitched in some big games. Talked about A&M last week, but you come into this one and bases are loaded. The fact that she got out of that jam, see how quick she works. She's got some swag.
Yeah, so she has those moments of brilliance, you know, but you can tell she's young. She hits Simmons on an 0-2 pitch, right? That's no.
Misses up and away. Lost Alicia Washington to graduation, so Bennett has settled in at second base. So get the lead runner here. 2 down. And back to the top of the order. Kenley Cahalan making the play. The transfer from Alabama is moved from short to third. Maloney flew out to left field her first time up. A terrific running, diving grab out there by Corby Otis. And quickly goes to 0-2. Right center all the way back to the wall, and the Longhorns are on the board. 2-out double for Maloney, scores Bennett all the way from first.
Well, the adjustment Maloney made at bat, flew out to left field, just kind of tried to drop it in. This one, she stays with a rise ball, and literally, this is like 3/4 swing, finds the gap, and with the speed coming around, an easy score to get Texas on the board.
And another one of those mistakes by the freshman. That's an 0-2 pitch. It needs to just be a little bit further out of the zone. Something unreachable.
Runner in scoring position for Caden Henry. Singled out to left her first time up. Henry batting .667 this year with a runner in scoring position, but really good with 2 outs as well.
This is the part of the order for Texas. When you see the gaudy numbers, it's these top 4 hitters, and they are some of the best in the country right after each other.
Two and two. Saw 11 pitches the first time she came up. And another full count here. Already up to 54 now for Caitlin Oxley, still in this second inning. Draws the walk. Third free pass. And that'll get Mia Scott into the batter's box. But first, it's going to get Stephanie Van Brakel Prothro out of the dugout. She'll talk to her pitcher. Tim Walton will talk to the defense. First season for the longtime Alabama assistant, and then a head coach in her own right, and opting to return to the SEC here with the Gators.
Good job with this pitching staff, really helping, giving them some direction, really working on formulating new pitches, which is a big part of obviously giving a different look every year. Cannot stay the same when you're in that circle.
The former SEC pitcher of the year herself.
And hitter, she could swing it.
Yeah. So for Mia Scott, singled stretch her hitting streak to 15 games the first time she came up. It's the second inning in a row. At least 6 are coming to the plate. Seeing a lot of Oxley early. First pitch swinging, fouls it off.
Smitty, you talked about it. Start the game, Oxley has a lot of different out pitches, and I think that's what she's struggled with early on with Texas, is being able to get the out pitch. She's getting ahead in the count.
Checked it to second. Mia Williams scoops it over to first to end the threat, but a run comes in.
Skylar Wallace, one of the best hitters to ever play in Florida, and it seems like they're not skipping a beat having Shoemaker just fill in.
Wallace, a big star for them last year at the World Series. They actually handed Oklahoma a loss, forced an if-necessary game. Skylar hit a couple of home runs, and then the Sooners beat them in a walk-off to reach the championship series against Texas, which they swept 2-0. There's the 2-0 to Reagan Walsh. Senior out of Redondo Beach. Couple of home runs in the Texas A&M series last weekend to help them take 2 of 3.
To your point about the series last weekend against Texas A&M, 8 home runs for the Gators in that series. And you think about the arm in the circle for A&M.
Yeah.
Kennedy. Yeah, is really, really good, but they were all over her.
8 of their 9 in the lineup, batting over 300.
18 multi-home run games. I mean, so they hit them in pops.
And a strikeout. That's number 2 for Tegan Cavan as she gets Walsh one down.
Now, Cavan just has so many tools. She has a lot of rise ball, changeup combinations, but this one she's going downstairs. You can just see the way that ball is going to almost fall off the table. It goes from low to lower, and Walsh just chases it down into the ground.
She's been throwing a lot more drop balls this year.
She has been. Which is, I think important because a lot of hitters go up looking, upstairs. They keep their hands a little bit higher, or they're thinking weight back, looking for that changeup. But ability to throw to multiple zones and multiple locations, so important. Cavan continuing to make sure that she changes her game a bit.
Facing Kenley Cahalan. And there's a base hit down the third base line and out into left. Kenley, a big jump at the plate from last year to this.
I mean, the numbers are just absolutely different from what she did at Alabama just a year ago. And this is about pitch selection, finding a pitch up in the zone. That's what we've seen Florida really attack, is not the pitch up out of the zone, but the one at the top of the strike zone, just meeting it. And you've got that much velocity. That's all you have to do.
Base hit in each of the first 2 innings here for the Gators off of Cavan. Here's the number 7 hitter in the lineup, Mia Williams. Her batting average has jumped over 200 points, flirting with 400 this season. Pops it up, and that'll drop harmless. Just a massive leap for her with the bat in her hands.
I mean, the numbers are just gaudy. That batting average last year to this year, just profound. Look at the hits. I mean, she's
10 multi-hit games this year. She only had 2 all of last season.
9 home runs already, only 6 last year.
And it wasn't even a huge physical thing. I mean, Tim Walton's just talked about her confidence, her ability to really believe in herself, and quoted Derek Jeter and talked about if you can handle failure. I mean, everyone understands hits and success, but how do you handle failure?
Again on the track has room. 2 down. Mia put a scare into it.
It sounded off the bat like it was leaving the yard. Just got a little bit on the hands.
So now the number 8 hitter, Ava Brown, the DP today, may see her in the circle at some point in this doubleheader afternoon. .6-0 as a pitcher. She's hitting .290 as a hitter.
right back upstairs. A couple of rise balls on that inner part of the plate.
Just exudes confidence, does Kavan. Beat Stanford and Nigeri Kennedy twice last year at the World Series, and then an 18 strikeout, 9-inning win over Kennedy and Texas Tech earlier this year.
And that was the best she's ever looked. I mean, Smitty talked about it with developing the drop, the changeup down in the zone, which is a different pitch than it was last year. She hung that pitch a lot.
Yeah, look at that, 3 times double digits. Here's the 1-2 to Brown, got her. Took a little off. Strikeout number 3 for Teagan.
Teagan,
10-zip in 5. And the last 2 times they've met, it's been a pair of Texas shutout wins. Now a whole new ball game as members of the SEC. Here's Reese Atwood, 4, 5, and 6 coming up. They've already left 5 on base through the first couple of innings. They have had plenty of work against Oxley, who has just thrown her 60th pitch of the day.
A lot of confidence in that changeup. We saw her start off Atwood's last at bat with the changeup. Here 2-0, comes back with it to get a strike.
Reese hit by a pitcher first time up, waits on the off speed, and another shot off the glove of Holtorf. And a base knock for Atwood. She's on base twice today.
And I like the idea of back-to-back changeups, but this one's a little bit too sweet. It needs to be a little bit lower. This one's elevated, and after Atwood sees the first one, you know she's going to be able to make an adjustment on the second one, bashes that right back up the middle.
Just how strong she is.
Yeah.
It was off the end of the bat. Holtorf couldn't even get to it. How hard she hit it.
And Mike White has called her the best power hitter he has had, and he's had some good ones over the course of his career at Texas and at Oregon.
I think the thing that makes her unique is obviously the power. The ball flies out of the yard, but she hits for average as well as power. And you know, when you can do both of those, you know you've got a pretty special hitter in your lineup.
Now it's about who's going to protect her.
Yeah.
It's kind of been a swinging door. Katie Stewart had been in that spot for most of the season. Now Jolie Mitchell up to bat now, trying to find someone that can be consistent to protect her.
Mitchell popped up to the catcher Erickson her first time around. Fly ball out towards Falby. She's got it. Nowhere for Atwood to go. 1 down. And that'll bring up the aforementioned Katie Stewart, a strikeout victim with the bases loaded in the first.
At this point, Katie Stewart just really wants contact.
Yeah, she's been struggling 0 for 7, 7 Ks in her last 7 at-bats. I think at this point, like you said, Jess, it's just about trying to barrel ball.
Swing and a miss on the first and the second. And that is officially a funk. 7 for 7. And the Longhorns rooting for to bust out of it. Not this time. 2 down. And Atwood can't move.
A couple of non-productive outs for Texas, and Atwood still stuck at first base. Katie Stewart just swinging right through every pitch. Curveball in the outer half, just not even close to that.
Here's Leanne Good. Here's a first pitch swinging. Falby with speed to get there. Atwood stranded. 1-0 Texas as we head to the bottom of the third.